Welcome to another Tech Help video brought to you by AccessLearningZone.com. I'm your instructor, Richard Rost. This is Quick Queries number 17. What's a quick query? Well, it's a video about all kinds of questions that I get every day that don't necessarily need a whole video all to themselves, so we try to tackle as many of them as we can. This is number 17. Do you have to go watch 1 through 16? Well, no, not really, but you should. All right, let's get to it. Here's one I get a lot, and this person is asking if they should import all of their customers and orders and everything now after watching my blank template video. And this is something that I tell a lot of my beginner students is don't focus on your end goal project when you're just starting to learn Access, because you're gonna watch a few beginner lessons, you're gonna learn a lot, you're gonna be all excited, you're gonna be, I'm gonna build my database now, and then you start building it. And then you watch a couple more lessons, and then you get into the expert series with some relationships, and you learn a little bit of this. And then you're like, oh, damn, I built that wrong. Now you go back and start all over and scrap what you built and do it again. So I always say wait until you've been, the mile marker that I use for my classes is my expert class, level 3, because by then you've learned relationships and combo boxes and things like that. And that's really important for learning Access, is those relationships. So if you're still a beginner, just do something for fun. I always tell people this: make a baseball card database or whatever you're into, D&D character database or something I did when I was a kid. So just don't try to do your end project, your whatever your business goal is, after lesson 1. All right, give it a little bit, learn some more, and then you'll see, you'll get it. Okay, and just be patient. There's a reason why medical school isn't 1 semester, right? The more you learn, the more you're like, man, I wish I would have learned this first. This is a comment I get a lot because when it comes to drawing lines on forms and reports, I don't use the keyboard shortcuts. I know they exist. I've been teaching this stuff for a while. I always forget about it, though. And it's an annoying thing in Access because it doesn't work the same as the other ones. Like in Word and Excel and PowerPoint, the line design tools work differently. For example, you can insert a line in Word or Excel. Where is it? Shapes and then lines. And then if you start drawing it and you realize, I really want this to snap to like a vertical line, you hold down the shift key at this point, it'll start snapping. It doesn't work that way in Access, right? If you go to Access here, let me go to Access. If you click and start drawing the line, right? And at this point here, if I realize, I want to hold the shift key down, it doesn't do anything at this point. Nor does Control, nor does Alt. All right, and then you get a crooked line. What you can do, come here, delete. What you can do is, if you hold the shift key down before you click the line tool, holding shift key down right now, click the line tool, then come down here and click and drag, that'll stay straight. And you can barely see it. It'll flash once in a while. It's not thick enough. Another one of my Access peeves. Right there, you will get a straight line. Okay, so yes, I'm aware that this trick works in Access, but it's close to useless. I just do my best to draw it by hand. So I wish they'd give Access the same features that they give the other Office applications, but I could go on for hours about this. But yes, thank you very much for the comment. In this video, I'm talking about putting vertical lines between the columns in a report. And Nick here mentions that he likes to use the field borders, the left, right, top, bottom field borders. Now in Excel, you can do that. You can't do that in Access. You can't control, I just want the bottom border or the top border. Right? In Excel, you can come in here and say which borders you want. Okay, I want the top, and I want thick bottom. And you get those 2 borders. Okay? Once again, Access doesn't give you that option. Right? If you're in Access, you want this guy here, for example. Right? You got border. That's it. You can do the border style, the border color, the border width, but it's the whole border all the way around. Now, I know some of you are going to say if you're using layouts, you can change the top, bottom, left, right grid line of the layout. But personally, I hate using automatic layouts. I can't stand them. I didn't like them when they were released. I don't like them now. I never use them. If you want something like that, use Excel. I like the freedom that something like this gives me. But let me just show you an example of what I'm talking about. All right, let me make this form simpler. Let me delete all this stuff. If you got a nice, real simple form like this, okay, let's apply a layout to it. I'm going to select all these, right-click. We're going to go Layout and then Stacked. All right, you got that. It's an automatic layout. You can see the layout box is around the whole thing, right? This is now treated as one block of stuff. Okay? Now, let's say you want to take last name and you want a top and bottom border on that. Well, if you come over here and you scroll down, you'll see these grid line properties here. Grid line style top, bottom, left, right, and then you've got the grid line color, and then you've got the the width of it. So let's say you want a big top border. All right, change this from transparent to solid, and change the top from 1 point to, I don't know, maybe 3 points. And then you can change the color to whatever. Make it like reddish here. There. Okay. See what I got? You can change individual borders if you're using layouts. I don't like layouts. I've never liked layouts. Let's change this one to solid, and let's go 4 point and blue. There. Okay. Okay. Actually, that was the bottom. That was the bottom of this guy. So you can see it's way down there. Okay. And yeah, you can make these smaller and I never liked layouts. I don't like layout mode. I like this. I like the controls where I want them. I like to be able to move them around. I just find the layout modes that they have are just too limiting for me. I want to design my form exactly as I want it. So if that's the case, as you bring up, I like to make my own vertical lines or horizontal lines. If I want a bigger border around this thing, if I want a custom border, I'll just put little lines on here and make them custom and use VBA to control this thing, right? If I want a big bottom border on this phone number, I'll stick this here, try to line it up as best as I can to that, right? And then you can just take this thing and make it, where's the properties? Format, shape, right? Blue, and then make it bigger if you want, right? Or make it red, or do whatever you want, right? They're your Legos. But now I got the same effect, but I got to do it with custom VBA and with shapes. So it'd be nice if Microsoft added that features, that functionality that Excel has with these to access, but I've lived without it for 30 years. It's okay. If I really want that, I can make it. If you guys really want to see a video on how to do something like this, if you want, like, if this value is something, instead of just conditionally formatting the back, you can put a custom border on it. So post a comment if you want to see me do something like that. You can use a square too, or a rectangle tool. There's a whole bunch of different options. This guy, right? Draw a box around it. Now you can modify his properties. All right? Format, shape, make it red and thick. Okay? I mean, if you're going to do that, you might as well just use the border property. But if you want to, whatever. You get what I'm saying. Veg wants to know what button I'm pressing or typing so all the tables are showing again. I'm assuming at time index 2126. I think what you're talking about is when I'm doing stuff like this, right? And that'll open up my code editor, and then I can just switch back over here. That's because I put buttons on my quick launch toolbar to switch back and forth between the VBA editor. And I always leave this open off to the side a little bit so I can just click back down here to go back to access. But if I want that code window again, it's right there. And this is just on the quick launch toolbar. It's nothing fancy. Just open up this, go to, where are you at? More commands, brain fart. And here it is, right? Or you can go to file options, whatever, quick launch toolbar. And I added the view code. There's a view code and there's a Visual Basic editor. All right, you might have to go to all commands over here to find them. All right, Visual Basic editor just opens up the VB editor, wherever it happens to be. View code will view the code for that specific object, right? So if I am in the main menu, notice it's not always available, right? But if I'm in the main menu in Design View and I click View Code, it will view the code for the main menu, right? If I come back over here and I'm in the customer form, I hit View Code, it puts me in the customer form. Okay, so that's what that is, the View Code button. There's a keyboard trick for it too, but I don't remember what it is. This user is basically talking about the fact that it's becoming very difficult to do anything without it having to be online, without you having to have online storage or be connected to the web in some way. He says there's a lot of small businesses that don't need or want obtrusive nonsense that blocks work and makes no positive contribution. And for the most part, I agree. Back in the day, a company had their data and their database in their server, in their office, right? And, I always recommended having off-site backups, which you usually had to pay extra for in the days, before the internet, or someone would take a tape backup home with them on the weekends and swap them. So at most you ever lost was, a week's worth of data. But nowadays it's like everything wants you to be online. Everything's got to be a login to a web service. Everything's a subscription. And that's one of the reasons, that's actually one of the strong points of Microsoft Access that I like, is that you can have your database on your computer, or on your network server with your employees. It doesn't have to be connected to the cloud, right? So it's a plus. You can, obviously, if you want to, you can connect it to, an online SQL server and share it around the world, but you don't have to. So Yeah, I'm with you. I feel your pain. But what are you gonna do? In fact, one of the things that I'm redoing my beginner Word and Excel classes, and by default, when you install Office, it wants you to save everything on OneDrive. And I don't like that. I want to create a drive locally on my, put it in my local My Documents folder or whatever you have set up. Now, I do use Google Drive, and my normal documents folder is in Google Drive, but that's because I do like the fact that those documents get synced to the cloud, and they can be on all of my laptops and my desktop and my phone. But that's a whole separate story. So that I chose to do. I get what you're saying, though, that all these companies are being very obtrusive, trying to force you to do that. And if you're a beginner and you don't know any better, you don't realize your data is just up on Microsoft server or Google server or whatever. So I get you. I feel you. Easy Speak 101 says that when he's running my billing statements database, and he says when you do your monthly billing, you want to sometimes store that date in the database for administrative purposes, so you can know when the billing was actually run. It's not always done on the first of the month, right? The first falls on New Year's. You might do it on the 3rd or the 4th. So what I would do is when you actually print your statements, the button. This, of course, is going to require a little bit of code. I mean, you could make a form where you manually type in, this person was billed on whatever, and just store the date. But you could also do it where whenever this form is printed, you could have it pop up a message box that says you want to mark this as, the billing statement is done. Save that in a billing statement table that's related to the customer, and then you'll know when you billed each one of your customers, right? You could do it with like 2 or 3 lines of code. If you guys want to see how to do that, post a comment down below, and if more than a couple people want to see it, I'll do a video on it. That's how this works, right? Squeaky wheels get the grease. Vincent wants to know when modern charts were added to Access. Vincent, I gotta say, first off, instead of posting a comment on one of my videos and waiting for me to answer, Google it. This is a very easy Google answer, right? Just Google when were modern charts added to Microsoft Access, and it should give you the right answer, which I Googled it. I wasn't sure. 2019 is what I was told. But I'll be honest, modern charts are still kind of half-baked. They work kinda, but they're not finished. So there's some good aspects to them, some bad aspects to them. I've done a couple of videos on them. I still use the old classic charts myself because they have more functionality and features, and you can do stuff with them that you can't do with modern charts yet. Modern charts are gonna be awesome once they're finished, and if Microsoft would give Access, modern chart capability like Excel has charting capabilities, then that would be really cool. But yeah, they're still not there yet. But I'll be honest about charting. Anything that if I want to make a complex chart, I will just do it in Excel. I'll have Access, crunch the data, and then take the summary of the data that I want to chart, and then just drop it in Excel and make a chart there, because Excel's charting capabilities are 1,000 times better than Access. But if it's a simple bar chart or a pie chart or a line chart, yeah, Access can handle it just fine, even with the classic charts. You don't even need the modern charts. But bottom line here is, I see people do this like all the time. Like they post a question that they could very easily just Google. Just Google it, right? Or Bing it if you're a Bing person. Or ask ChatGPT. Yeah, here's a Windows question. I know this is Access Quick Queries, but so what? I'm throwing a Windows question in here. Zach, Dreamcast. I used to have a Dreamcast back in the day. I used to play Soul Calibur on it all the time. Zach wants to know if you can make the taskbar bigger on the bottom. No. In Windows 11, they removed that capability. In Windows 7, 10, whatever, it used to actually be annoying, but you could make it larger if you had a big monitor. You could click and drag and make that taskbar 2 rows or 3 rows. But nope, you can't. And I just verified it too. I just checked and did a little search for it myself. Can't do it. But one of the problems with Windows, from my end, for making videos on it, is they change this stuff every month. So the next Windows update, you might have that feature back. So I don't know. As of right now, I can't do it. So I don't think you can. Shadow Dragon asks what my thought on the performance analysis tool are. What my thoughts are. What my thought is. I don't like it. I never use it. It gives pretty much useless information, in my opinion. And I'm sure there's a developer at Access that spent a lot of time working on it, but I've never had it give me useful information. Sorry, no. If something doesn't work right, I try to drill down and figure out how to make it work right or faster or whatever. If a query is really slow, how can we make that query faster? Let's run it real quick. Let's run it on the TechHelp free template and see what it does. Let's give it a shot. I haven't run it on this database, so let's see here. Let's close that so it does it. Database tools, analyze performance. Let's pick all object types, select all, and hit OK and run it. Let's do it again. Okay, it's going through. All right, let's see here. What kind of optimization notes do we get? Well, first thing it's trying to tell me is to save my application as an MDE file. MDE files have been gone since 2007, I think. So right there, I can see that Microsoft hasn't put a lot of effort into updating this thing in forever. MDE files were the old Access 2003 and earlier format for your encrypted. Now it's ACCDE file. Contactee, relate this table to others in the database. Relate this table. What if I don't want to? I don't usually use global relationships. I don't. They don't work well with linked databases. There's just a lot of reasons why. I've got many, many videos on relationships and referential integrity and cascade deletes and all that stuff. And this stuff here just usually tends to confuse beginners. So mostly this is just all relationship stuff. Macro convert to Visual Basic. No, I can't. The open main menu macro that I have here needs to be a macro because I'm using a quick launch toolbar button for it. And you can't do that with VBA. So there's a reason for that. See, it's giving me stuff that is not. No, no. Now, if you have had some good results with the analyzer, let me know. I've never had it give me any good information. Maybe because I know what I'm doing and I built the database right from the beginning, but I find that it gives misleading information more than good stuff. So sorry, that's just my opinion. But I'd like to hear your thoughts and comments and stuff. I haven't taken it and run it on a bad database. You know what I'm saying? Like I haven't taken like a not well built database that maybe a student or a client gave me and run the performance analyzer on it. So maybe that would be helpful. But as far as everything that I've built in the last, 10, 15 years, I can't see it being of any use. And if you follow my design tips from the beginning, you won't need it. All right, what's next? Is it DeAndre or DeAndre? I don't know. Said this video has been out for 11 years to help to pass the EDPM exam. I had to Google what EDPM exam was. I'm guessing it's the European Diploma of Pain Medicine. Going to be a doctor of some kind. Congratulations on passing your exam. I'm glad that I can help. I'm not sure why access is a requirement for anything in medicine, but okay, great, awesome. And the point to make here is that access really has not changed much since 2007. That was the last major revision. So, all the stuff that's one of the reasons why I haven't made it a top priority to re-record all my older lessons, because it's pretty much the same stuff. Just, some minor interface differences. They call memos long text now. Images are handled a little bit differently, but I've put notes on all my classes where something has changed that is a big deal. And there's not a lot of that. So the core of access is the same as it's been since I can remember. All right, let's head over to my forums on my website. Ludwig wants to know, what exactly is Kernel 32 and what does it do? And you'll see me refer to this in some of my programs, like right here. If you look in the TechHelp free template, I declare this subroutine called sleep, and it uses this thing called Kernel 32. What is that? Well, that's a DLL file. It stands for Dynamic Linked Library. Basically, it comes with Windows. It's part of Windows. And it's got functions in it like sleep, which puts the computer to sleep for X number of milliseconds. It's got other functions to let you, get the computer name, the network name, all kinds of stuff. It's all Windows system level functions. Now, so that the people that made Access, or Office in general, don't have to rewrite all of these functions, right? They can just go out to Windows and say, hey, you got this thing called Kernel 32, and it's got the code that I need to be able to, put the computer to sleep or to get the computer name, right? So why don't I just use your code instead of having to redo it all myself? So as long as you know it, know what the name of it is, and know what file it's in, right? You can tell Access, hey, go out and basically use that function that's found in that kernel32.dll file that came with Windows. And that's it. That's basically all you can do. And I wrote a little more detailed whatever here. If you want to read it, pause, and there you go. So Ludwig, I hope that answers your question. One more for today. Michael mentions that in my Eclipse Timer 2 video, I talk about moving and sizing a report in VBA code. He found a simple way to do it is go to Design View, click the report header, drag the report where you want it, and then return to Print Preview, and it looks like it will stay. Yeah, it'll stay most of the time. So with forms, right, if you open up a form and it opens up over here and you don't want it over here, you can slide it over here and hit Save. Okay, Control S on the keyboard, and then close it. And then when you open it up again, it'll open up in the same spot. And it usually is pretty good about remembering where you left it. There, save it, close it, open it, goes right back to that spot. All right, reports don't usually tend to do that. Here's a report. Okay, I'm going to move you over here now and hit Save, and then close it, and then open it up again. And that's back where I originally was. Now, what Michael's saying is, yeah, you can sometimes go into Design View, move it over here, hit save, close it, and it should open up in that spot. And it does most of the time. I would say 9 times out of 10, probably. But every now and then, it snaps back where it originally was. Why? I don't know. But usually, yeah, if you go into design view with a report, all right, and set whatever dimensions you want. Let's say you want it to be like this. Okay. And then save it, and then close it, and then open it. And see, it snapped back over here again. It's not 100%. Put it over here. Let's try this. Let's see. Put it over here. Design view. Let me save it now. And then make it a little bit. Oh, I lost it. Come here. Come back out. Come here. Let me make you a little bit wider. And then save, and then close, and then open. And you see it's here, but it's not saving its dimensions either. Let's maybe try this. Save. No. Now, so what you can do is you can, with VB code, control exactly where this is, how, the parameters of the size of it, the zoom ratio, all that stuff. And that actually came up in another forum discussion about 2 months ago. And I put some code right here. You can see here. You just refresh. Then you do an open report, right, with preview. Then you do a move size command. Okay, the move size will move the report to wherever you want it, the coordinates on the screen and the height and width. And then you do a do command run command and then AC zoom 100. And I believe I did cover this in a TechHelp video. Hang on, let me see if I can find it. Oh, duh. the video I covered it in was the Eclipse Timer video where I make up the Eclipse Timer report thingy. Right, and then we do the zoom, and then it comes in wherever we want it to zoom to. Let me see. Yeah, let me get this. It positions it where it's supposed to be, and then zooms into the right size. So, but yeah, you can try doing it this way, but that doesn't work all the time, and you can't get the control that you want. So, oh well. But thanks for the feedback, of course. All right, that's gonna do it. That's it for Quick Queries today. I hope you learned something. Live long and prosper, my friends. I'll see you next time. And if you got a question, post it down below. Post it in the thing. If you're on YouTube, I try to go through those. You know, I'm way backlogged on those. You got a better chance of getting your question answered if you post it on the forums on my website, because my moderators are awesome and they answer questions a whole lot more often than I do. And yeah, so do it there. Bye. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up and post any comments you may have below. I do try to read and answer all of them as soon as I can. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, which is completely free. Click the bell icon and select all to receive notifications when new videos are posted. Want to learn more? Click the Show More link below the video to find additional resources and links. YouTube does a pretty good job of hiding it. It's right down there. See this part of the description here, right? The name, the video's up here. There's a little Show More down there, right down the bottom. It's kind of hard to find. But once you click on that, you'll see a list of other videos, additional information related to the current topic, free lessons, and lots more. And YouTube no longer sends out email notifications when new videos are posted like they used to do. But if you'd like to get an email every time I post a new video, click on the link to join my mailing list. And you can pick how frequently to get emails from me, either as they happen, daily, weekly, or monthly. Now, if you'd like to become a paid member of my channel and receive all kinds of awesome perks, click on the Join button. You'll see a list of all the different membership levels that are available, each with its own special perks, including my extended cut videos, access to my code vault, lots of VBA source code in there, template downloads, and lots more. I'll talk more about these perks at the end of the video. Even if you don't want to commit to becoming a paid member and you'd like to help support my work, please feel free to click on the tip jar link. Your patronage is greatly appreciated and will help keep these free videos coming. I got some puppies to feed. But don't worry, no matter what, these free tech help videos are going to keep coming. As long as you keep watching them, I'll keep making more, and they'll always be free. Now, if you really want to learn Access and you haven't tried my free Access Level 1 course, check it out now. It covers all the basics of Microsoft Access, including building forms, queries, reports, and more. It's over 4 hours long. You can find it on my website or on my YouTube channel. I'll put a link down below you can click on. And did I mention it's completely free? The whole thing, free, 4 hours. Go watch it. And okay, a lot of you have told me that you don't have time to sit through a 4-hour course. So I do now have a quicker Microsoft Access for Beginners video that covers all the basics faster in about 30 minutes. And no, I didn't just put the video on fast forward. But I'll put a link to this down below as well. Now, if you like level 1, Level 2 is just $1. That's it, $1. And that's another whole 90-minute course. Level 2 is also free for paid members of any level, including supporters. So if you're a member, go watch Level 2. It's free. Okay, want to get your question answered in a video just like this one? Visit my TechHelp page and send me your question there. Members get priority, of course. While I do try to read and respond to all of the comments posted below in the comments section, I only have time to go through them briefly a couple of times a month, and sometimes I get thousands of them. So send me your question here on the TechHelp page, and you'll have a better chance of getting it answered. And while you're on my website, be sure to stop by my Access forum. We've got lots of lively conversations about Microsoft Access and other topics. I have a fantastic group of moderators who help me answer questions. Shout out to Alex, Kevin, Scott, Adam, John, Dan, Juan, and everybody else who helps out on the site. I appreciate everything you do. I couldn't do it without you. Be sure to follow my blog, find me on Twitter, and of course on YouTube. Yeah, I'm on Facebook too, but I don't like Facebook. Don't get me started. Now, let's talk more about those member perks if you do decide to join as a paid member. There are different levels: silver, gold, platinum, and diamond. Silver members and up get access to all of my extended cut TechHelp videos, one free beginner class every month, and some other perks. Gold members get all the previous perks, plus access to download the sample databases that I build in my TechHelp videos, plus access to my code vault where I keep tons of different functions that I use, the code that I build in most of the videos. You'll also get higher priority if you do submit any TechHelp questions. Now, answers are never guaranteed, but you do go higher in the list for me to read them. And if I like your question, you got a good chance of it being answered. You'll also get one free expert level class each month after you've finished the beginner series. Platinum members get all the previous perks plus even higher priority for TechHelp questions. You get access to all of my full beginner level courses for every subject. And I cover lots of different subjects like Word, Excel, VBA, ASP, lots of different stuff, not just Access. These are the full-length courses found on my website. You get all the beginner ones. In addition, once you finish the expert classes, you get one free developer class per month. So lots of training. And finally, you can also become a Diamond sponsor. You'll have your name or your company name listed on a sponsors page that will be shown on each video as long as you're a sponsor. You'll get a shout out in the video and a link to your website or product in the text below the video and on my website. So that's it. Once again, my name is Richard Rost. Thank you for watching this video brought to you by accesslearningzone.com. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something today. Live long and prosper, my friends. I'll see you again soon.